Countermeasure Assessment Planning Tool, CAPT. Since the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001 and the subsequent use of anthrax in the U.S. mail, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has devoted considerable effort to understanding the potential for non-state actors to use chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear, or CBRN, hazards to harm the U.S. and its citizens. In particular, the DHS Science and Technology (S&T) Directorate made significant investments in capabilities to understand what might be used in a CBRN attack, how successful non-state actors might be, and the human health and economic consequences if they are successful. These capabilities provide decision makers with information on which hazards the nation should be prepared for and which targets require the greatest protection. Furthermore, the DHS S&T capabilities allow for what-if analysis to understand how to best prevent, protect, and mitigate the consequences of these events. These capabilities have been used to provide a variety of knowledge products to DHS and the interagency, with the most notable of these being the Biological Terrorism Risk Assessment, BTRA, first completed in 2006. The Chemical Terrorism Risk Assessment, CTRA, initially completed in 2008, and the Integrated CBRN Terrorism Risk Assessment, ITRA, initially completed in 2008. Over the last 11 years, modifications in the modeling techniques used by DHS S&T has greatly improved their accuracy, utility, and accessibility. This video describes why we do assessments for intentional CBRN events, how the analysis has supported decision-making across the U.S. government, and what capabilities exist. So why do we use CAPT to perform analysis of intentional CBRN events? Intentional CBRN events have the possibility of harming hundreds of thousands of people and causing billions of dollars in economic damage to the country. Preventing, protecting, or mitigating against all possible CBRN events is too expensive for real-world action. Yet something needs to be done with the resources available to us. What efforts make the most sense to protect DHS and the nation from these events? DHS S&T capabilities to analyze CBRN events can be used to answer basic planning questions, such as what should we worry about, how bad could it be, and what can be done about it. These capabilities have been used for this purpose in addressing DHS responsibilities for Homeland Security Presidential Directive 10, requiring DHS to have a formal assessment process to guide prioritization of investments in biodefense-related research, development, planning, and preparedness. They were also used to meet the requirements of Homeland Security Presidential Directive 18, requiring an integrated CBRN assessment to inform medical countermeasure development and acquisition, and to inform material threat determinations as part of the Project BioShield Act of 2004. At a smaller scale, DHS S&T CBRN capabilities have been used to inform vaccination policy by the USCG, research priorities at the NBACC, detection panels for the BioWatch program, and more. These capabilities allow DHS and the interagency to make informed decisions using scientifically sound methods and data. So, how do we implement CAPT CBRN assessment capabilities? S&T integrated input from subject matter experts from intelligence and law enforcement communities and from the scientific, medical, and public health communities to generate assessment questions of interest, intentional CBRN event scenarios, empirical and subject matter data sets, as well as agreed upon constraints, limitations, and simulation assumptions. We accomplish this by developing an operational definition of these events to include threat, vulnerability, and consequence. We built computational capabilities to address threat, vulnerability, and consequence that ingest the best available data and, with the help of a supercomputer, examines hundreds of millions of scenarios. Our capabilities span a comprehensive set of intentional CBRN events, providing a rich context for understanding what might happen, how bad it could be, and what might be done to prevent or mitigate these events. Since 2006, there have been numerous modeling enhancements. Today, consequences now include the dollar amount associated with these adverse events. So, what does the DHS S&T capability produce for its user community? As a result of stakeholder involvement, DHS S&T's assessment of the impact of CBRN events address many important questions, such as identifying catastrophic CBRN scenarios, prioritized list of hazards and the venues in which they cause the greatest harm, and the ability to perform what-if analysis to better understand the drivers for these results and what can be done to prevent or mitigate them. In this way, DHS S&T is able to separate the trivial scenarios from those demanding national preparedness resources. DHS S&T can also identify those investments best able to prevent and mitigate intentional CBRN events should they occur. So what are the steps in the CAPT process? Step 1. Log in to the web-based Countermeasure Assessment Planning Tool, CAPT, using your username and password. Step 2. Select scenario type, single or batch scenario. For single scenario, select the threat area by clicking on one of the CBRN icons. Select a target. Next, select a location in the United States with the menu provided, and the selected path, threat area, hazard, agent name, target, dissemination mode, and mitigation. Load the scenario. Adjust parameters for the scenario run. Interpret the output via multiple perspectives. CAPT's export engine also generates user-friendly output into common formats such as Excel. CAPT also provides an advanced analytics capability to evaluate complex scenarios. CAPT also provides the capability to run multiple scenarios in batch mode. The steps are similar to single scenario mode. CAPT provides comprehensive visualization of multiple scenarios in output. CAPT allows analysts to explore scenarios and provide decision support for complex CBRN issues facing senior leaders. Want to know more? Contact Dr. Jason Middleton, Program Manager, CBRNE Defense, 703-413-7818. middletonj@battelle.org.